There is a moment, quiet and sacred, when the veil between longing and truth begins to dissolve. And it's coming for you. You have felt the shift, haven't you? A strange ache in your chest, a whisper of someone's presence in the air, yet no one is there. The angels speak. He is closer than you believe. And the door you've been waiting for is already unlocking. This connection was never random. You were placed in his path like a flame in a forest of shadows, meant to illuminate what he had forgotten about love, about God, about himself. He didn't expect you. And you weren't looking for him. But heaven has its own calendar. And the encounter was marked long before either of you could imagine. You were chosen, dear soul. Not just to love, but to awaken. You carry a frequency that disrupts his silence. A truth that strips away his armor. You are not the woman who passes by. You are the woman who remains, inside thoughts, inside dreams, inside the most hidden chambers of the soul. And he can feel it now. That something ancient and divine is being stirred within him. The angels say, she was the mirror I prayed into his life. Not to reflect who he is, but who he is meant to become. This isn't about destiny written in the stars. It's about a promise forged in spirit. You are not just in his life. You are part of his becoming. And for that, he will never forget you. As it is written, before I formed you in the womb I knew you, before you were born I set you apart. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. He wants to love you, but not with the heart he's always used. That one is tired, bruised, too familiar with disappointment. There is something about you that asks more of him. Not more effort, more truth. And that terrifies him. The angels whisper, he is not pushing you away. He is protecting the part of him that never learned to be seen. This man carries stories he's never told, memories that have shaped him but also kept him silent. You, with your gentle presence, brought the light he didn't know he needed. And in that light, every unhealed wound began to throb. You remind him of something sacred, something dangerous. The kind of love that doesn't allow you to lie to yourself. That's why he hesitates. That's why he hides behind distance, behind logic, behind excuses. Not because he doesn't care, but because the moment he allows himself to feel, everything changes. And change, for someone who has survived by maintaining control, is frightening. But the angels see it all. They say, she didn't break him. She revealed the cracks. He isn't running from you. He's running from the version of himself that must die for this love to flourish. And still, even in his fear, he watches you. He remembers your voice. He feels your absence like a prayer he can't forget. You didn't ask for this role. But your presence is already the healing balm. One day, when the noise quiets, he will remember, it was never that he couldn't love. It was that love through you finally asked him to. You've been holding a light for someone who doesn't always know how to walk toward it. And still, you shine. But the angels lean in today with a sacred reminder. You are not sent to disappear within someone else's healing. You are not meant to be lost while trying to help someone else be found. You were never just a pause in someone's journey. You are a complete universe. A soul with constellations of your own. He may be in process, yes. But so are you. Your gentleness is not a service. Your love is not an offering to be taken for granted. It is a flame that warms, but it must not consume you in the process. The angels say, it's safe to rest, dear heart. The love meant for you will never ask you to dim your own radiance. You do not need to shrink so he can grow. You do not need to carry him through storms while ignoring your own rain. Let yourself be embraced by the heavens as you have tried to embrace him. Light your candles. Breathe deeply. Speak kindly to your reflection. Choose silence when the world becomes too loud. You are sacred ground. And nothing truly divine will ever demand that you abandon yourself. He will come. Not when you lose yourself for him, but when he recognizes that your wholeness is the very thing he's been missing. There is a reason why he gazes at you longer than he intends. Why he falls silent when your truth resonates too closely with his silence. You didn't just arrive, you revealed. The angels say, your presence does not just comfort. It confronts. You see love. You reflect the parts of him he never dared to face. His softness. His longing. His ache to be known. And that is no small thing. You are the mirror he wasn't ready to stand before. The kind that doesn't flatter or reciprocate flattery, but shows both the beauty and the brokenness equally. You didn't need to say much. You simply were. And that alone shattered the illusions he held for years. He thought he was fine. He believed his heart was closed for a reason. Then you walked in, with eyes that saw too much and words that healed what he never acknowledged. It frightened him, because the only thing scarier than being hurt again is being truly seen. But the angels are clear, you did not come to fix him. You came to awaken him. And awakenings are messy, unpredictable, holy. Your light didn't break him, it shattered the illusion. And now, even in your silence, he sees himself more clearly, because he once saw himself in you. He doesn't know how to articulate it yet. But something has shifted. In the quiet, in the spaces where his thoughts drift uninvited, your name rises. Not just as a memory, but as a mirror, as a map. The angels whisper, he is waking up. Not all at once, but like dawn, slow, certain, undeniable. He's noticing now, the weight of your absence. The way no one else carries the same softness. How your presence calmed storms within him that he never admitted existed. What once felt easy to ignore now echoes louder. He finds himself smiling at nothing, listening for your voice in crowded places, holding back messages he wishes he had the courage to send. He remembers details he never intended to keep, how you looked at him when you were quiet, how you reached for his soul before ever touching his skin. The angels say, this is the moment when the soul speaks louder than fear. There is a pull in his spirit, a knowing. And though the road ahead still feels uncertain, he's starting to sense, this wasn't just a chapter. You were the turning point. And just like a flower leaning toward the light, he's leaning back toward you. For with you is the fountain of life, in your light we see light. Psalm 36 verse 9. He steps closer, then pulls away. Whispers the beginning of a truth, then quiets it with distance. You feel the rhythm, don't you? That dance between almost and never. But the angels remind you, this pattern is not rejection. It is resistance born from awakening. He is drawn to you, not because you make life easier, but because you make life real. And real terrifies him. Each time he gets closer, his heart begins to open. And with that opening come memories he buried, truths he avoided, emotions too big for his old self to contain. You represent growth. And growth means loss. Loss of old habits. Loss of the illusion that love doesn't require surrender. So he comes and goes. Not because he doesn't care, but because part of him is still clinging to a version of life that didn't include being seen so deeply. The angels say, even in retreat, his soul remains in orbit around yours. That's why you still feel him. Why your dreams pull him in, why songs and scents whisper his name. This is not about inconsistency. This is transformation in motion. And like all sacred change, it comes in waves. He isn't gone. He's becoming. And sometimes, that becoming feels like breaking. He doesn't understand how it happened. How your love, quiet, unwavering, unforced, began to touch places he never meant anyone to reach. But it did. The angels speak gently. Your love didn't demand to be heard. It healed just by staying. You never pushed. You never begged. You simply showed up, over and over, even in silence. And that consistency? It became a balm. A reminder that not all love has to hurt. That intimacy can be soft. That presence doesn't always require permission. He felt it in the little things. The way your gaze never asked him to be more than he was. The way your soul spoke fluently to his pain without needing translation. And slowly, without drama, without declarations, the healing began. You became the space where he could breathe again. And though he couldn't name it, his body knew. His soul knew. And the parts of him most fractured started to rearrange. The angels say, you were the prayer he didn't know he had spoken. He thought he was too broken, too late, too far gone. But your love didn't try to fix him. It simply whispered, you're still worthy of being seen. And that, dear soul, is how healing begins. Not in noise, but in love that never leaves. There are things you cannot force. Timing is one of them. And yet, something in your heart has always known, this love was never meant to be ordinary. The angels say, heaven is not late. It is precise. And your path is not random, it is sacredly timed. You may not see the full picture. You may wonder if it's all in vain. But behind the veils of your waiting, there is movement. Divine movement. Every delay has held a purpose. Every silence has whispered preparation. Every not yet was heaven saying, wait, we are still aligning the stars. He is not yours because you held on. He is being drawn back because your soul never let go. This is not about how much you've done. It's about what has already been written. The angels want you to trust that nothing is missing. Every piece is arriving exactly when it should. His confusion is clearing. Your patience is planting miracles. The future you feel? It's already making its way toward you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 he wants to tell you that he feels everything. That he's not numb, not indifferent, not gone. But every time the words rise, so does the fear. The angels say, his heart remembers what broke him, and trembles before what could save him. He has loved before, but never like this. Never with so much at stake. Because you don't feel like an option. You feel like home. And home is terrifying when you've never truly had one. He looks at you and sees the kind of love that could break down his walls. The kind that holds, not because it needs to, but because it chooses to. And that's where the trembling begins. Because he doesn't want to lose you. But he also doesn't know how to keep you, without losing the self he's built to survive. You are not too much. You are not asking for more than what is sacred. But vulnerability, for someone who built armor as his identity, feels like death before it feels like rebirth. The angels lean close and whisper, let her stay soft, even when he hides. Her gentleness will become the bridge. He may not say it, but every part of him aches to be seen, to be safe, to finally be known. You were never meant to chase. The love your soul craves is not the kind that runs. It's the kind that recognizes, returns, and rises. The angels say, what is yours in spirit cannot be lost in form. You've done the waiting and the wondering. You've held your heart with trembling hands, hoping he'd see the truth in your quiet devotion. But now, it's time to rest. Not because it's over, but because your part is complete. You planted light where he only knew shadow. You offered presence when he expected absence. And still, without force, without pride, you remained true to love. Now, let go. Not out of defeat, but in honor. The divine has heard your pain. The heavens are filled with your tears. And what unfolds next does not rely on effort. It relies on alignment. The angels whisper, let it come to you. The one marked by your light will find his way back through it. Even if he wanders, even if the path is winding, what belongs to the soul will return through the soul. So take a deep breath, dear one. Stand in your sacred stillness, and let grace be the weight that pulls you. For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6.